What's the best exercise for the legs? Well, let me tell you something. There is only one exercise that's indisputable, that's not even, nobody can touch it, and that's the parallel bar squat. Parallel squats, not the full squat. And I'm going to tell you something. Years ago, there was no leg, we were training, all we could do was squats, there was nothing else. There was no leg extension, leg curl. This new phenomenon is great. I'm not knocking it. You isolate the muscle, but you don't get out of breath doing that. You get out of breath doing the squats because the squats incorporate the entire body, your balancing muscles, holding it on your shoulder, keep your balance. Plus, it involves your entire endocrine system, and you huff and puff doing the squats. You don't huff and puff doing leg extensions or leg curls. Not knocking them, but they don't compare to the squat. The squat is complete. You can build a tremendous thigh with just the squats. Even it works your calves also. So the point simply, but don't do the full squat. The full squat where you go below parallel, you will strain your back, and you find later on you may hurt your back at the time, and if you get through it, when you get older, you'll find out that you punish your lower back because you're using your lower back and the muscles in your butt to bring you up to parallel where the thighs come into play. We used to have a bench, a workout bench, and we wouldn't go, when our ass touched the bench, we'd come up. We know we went low enough, you see, but the thighs are not sexy. So I really didn't want to talk about it. I just, but I got so many requests on it, and I said, well, let me explain to these guys. There's nothing to touch it. And don't let these guys who have trained a few years and they're doing the leg extension, or they got into the machine era and they think it was nothing else. The squats are unparalleled. And the reason you know it's unparalleled, because I'll tell you why. None of these single machine exercises will build your entire endocrine, your entire body will come into play. You don't get breathless doing leg extensions, but buddy, you get breathless doing squats. It's the best of all the exercises. But squats are, they're not sexy. The arms are sexy. Guys, first let me see your arm. Who said let me see your legs? Who says that? So a lot of guys don't even bother that much with legs. But legs stimulate the entire body to work more efficiently. So hear what I'm telling you. Do not go below parallel in the squats. And you'll find when you start doing them, you're going to see the invigoration. You're going to see the strength. You get more strength, more power. It empowers the entire body. Just don't go down below. So many guys do that and they turn off on squats. But you can turn off on them in a sense because you got alternatives. There was no alternatives in my time. So now I'm going to put some pictures of me when I was trained. I never used the machines because they weren't around, Anyhow, and then when they were around, I had, as some of you guys know and some don't, I was in a terrible accident and severed my ankle. My ankle was severed, so it didn't make a difference whether they were around or not. But they came around later in my bodybuilding progress. But let me tell you something, my friends. That's why I tell you, there's nothing like experience. These guys are just started. All they know is the machines. They're going to, and squats are work. You got to work with squats. Machine, you lay back there and you do the kick up and the kick up. You don't get out of breath. You do the leg curls. You don't get out of breath. It's not taking in the whole body like squats do. So this is nothing takes the place of it. And a lot of times you don't have the room. Another thing, one more thing. We used to do what they call a sissy squat, where you put a 2x4 up under your heels, or any kind of elevation of your heels, and it make you lean forward when you squat. It would take in the internal, what they call a teardrop muscle, right alongside the knee. It's called the teardrop muscle, and it get the internal thighs. That was another variation of the squat that we did. But that's all we had, my friends. And you look at the bodybuilders of my era, and we didn't do too bad for the legs. To be continued.